Hello, gorgeous people. We're continuing our work with self-love. I started a series last week sharing some energy techniques to support and boost your self-love. Now I'm looking at this from a different perspective. I'm going to look at the things that get in the way. So I see 5 different things, and the biggest thing, the biggest thought and emotion and feeling that gets in the way of our self-love is the inner critic, the self-critic. So I think this is really important for me this weekend or just after the weekend, because I am feeling pretty self-critical. I'm Dr. Leonie Morris, an energy expert. I'm an energy psychologist and an energy medicine practitioner. And I look at all sorts of different ways to raise our collective vibration so that if you're feeling bad mentally or emotionally or physically, you can pick up my techniques and simply follow along with them at home. So let's look at the self-critic. I've had a weekend where I kind of let my hair down. I've enjoyed myself. I've been catching up with friends who I haven't been able to see for a long time. And when I'm catching up with friends in the summer, that often means indulging in food or wine and not sleeping enough, generally not looking after myself. And when I do that, I start to notice that I don't feel as good. And the inner critic starts to kick in. I feel guilty because I've eaten too much or eaten the wrong foods or not taken part in my more healthy rituals. I haven't done my exercise, haven't done the chores I've meant to be doing. So I feel guilty, I feel ashamed, I feel less than myself. And that little voice is like sniping away, sitting on your shoulder going, nee, 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 nee. I'm sure your inner critic, you've all heard it, and it can be really destructive. So I want to share what happens to your energy when you let that inner critic carry on, and how to pick that back up again so you don't get stuck in that downward emotional spiral where literally your energy is being sucked out of you and your vibration is being lowered the lower down the emotional ladder you go. So let's start with the self-critic then, the inner critic. When we are in that space of criticizing, feeling shameful, feeling guilty, our vibrational level decreases. And if you've seen me before, you'll know that I work with energy. We are all energy. Everything in the universe is energy. And when we're having negative thoughts, as we do with the inner critic, our energy is starting to decrease. And I don't know whether you know this, but the healthy, exuberant, radiant human body actually has a frequency, and it's between 70 to about 80 megahertz. When you start to feel ill, so let's say you've had COVID, it might come down as low as 60, 50, or even 40 if you've had a really bad bout. So the frequency at which you're vibrating is slowing, getting stuck, getting heavy. And when it's moving at that slower pace, you feel low in energy and your negative thoughts and emotions really take hold. So it's important to be mindful of those emotions, and actually being mindful of how you're thinking and how you're feeling is the first step to shifting back up that vibrational spiral, going up in the vortex and not being dragged down. So our vibrational frequency changes, our aura, or it's called biosphere these days, the energetic membrane you have around you that protects you, that holds you safe, that starts to get depleted. It starts to collapse. It shrinks inwards. This is not just me talking, not from my personal experience, although I can see it and feel it. And I often see it in my clients when they come to me. Their aura is so tight and collapsed around their body because they're not expanding from a place of contentment, peace, love. And the higher up the emotional ladder you go, the higher your vibrational frequency, the more expanded your energy. It makes sense. It's just like heating up water. When you heat it up, when the vibrational frequency increases, it expands. So that's us when we're a place of love and bliss and peace and happiness and joy. Our energy is simply expanding. It's glowing, it's light, it's vibrant, it's beautiful. And when we get critical, it collapses in. And I'm sure you can feel that. Even if you can't see energy, I know that we'll be able to feel that. And that collapsed state of, it makes you feel overwhelmed or apathetic, or I can't do this anymore. All the negative thoughts come creeping in. So let's talk about some energy techniques to help you shift out of that space. It's about being mindful. So just tune in. If you're starting to feel a bit low, just figure out what it is that's going on for you and take some breaths. Then we'll do something called the hookup, the first energy exercise. Then the second exercise will be the heart hug. The third exercise will be a neurovascular hold. And I might even do a bonus fourth one if you wait towards the end of the video. So listen in to hear a bonus fourth exercise. So let's go through that now. And actually, while I talk about it, I do want to go through something called the open door technique. So I'll be doing energy techniques, so physical holds and maneuvers. That's the energy medicine. We're going to take you through a psychologically opening your perspectives, opening your mind, opening your heart, and it's called the open door technique. And I hope that's new and exciting for you. So let's start. So we'll begin just by taking a few deep breaths and grounding. I always like to sit up and make sure my feet are flat to the floor. Imagining your energy is literally flowing through your body and grounding as it should do into the safety of Mother Earth. And actually just stroking your skin is sometimes a really nice way to calm, to bring us back into our bodies. It's an embodied feeling when you stroke your body, calms the central nervous system. I just like to put my hands on the top of my thighs. We'll take some deep breaths, breathing in through your nose. And out through your mouth. So we'll do the first of the exercises I mentioned, which is the hookup. So if you're starting to hear that inner critic, starting to feel, a bit judging yourself, get your two middle fingers from each hand. So I'm not doing any rude signals. Put one to your belly button and one to your third eye. We're literally just going to press in, and then as if you're hooking yourself up. This is actually out of my daily energy shower. It's a fantastic tool which brings you back into a state of happiness in your own skin, for want of a better word. We're connecting your central meridian and your governing meridian. You don't need to worry about the words. It's literally creating an energetic circuit. So these are like jump leads. See these as jump leads. We're creating that circuit, which in Chinese medicine is called the microcosmic orbit. And this helps your energy to expand, to grow back into its fullness. It's enabling you to feel safe and happy in your own skin. You just need to hold this for as long as you feel you need to. You can do it for as short as 30 seconds or for a few minutes. Or if you're sitting down or lying down, you can do this comfortably. You can actually just hold your elbows on your kneecaps like that. But for the purpose of doing this video, I'll sit upright. So hold that. And I'm going to tell you about the open door technique as we're holding this. In fact, I'll tell you about it as we go into the second hold. The second hold is a beautiful hold. It's called the heart hug. And you literally cross your arms, putting your fingers into your armpits and your thumbs into that crease where your arm meets your body. You're inviting your energy to cross. You're inviting your energy to circulate and spiral inwards to your heart space, supporting that energy, making it buoyant. And it's just inviting self-love and self-compassion. It's one you can do so easily. It's so relaxing, and you can even sort of again, give yourself a rest, lean forward like this. But you can do this whenever and wherever you like, and actually introducing a gentle rock into the system is always calming, saying, I'm okay, I've got this. I don't need to listen to that nagging inner critic. So let me tell you about the open door technique as we're doing this hold together. It's literally a technique which allows you to expand your thinking from the limiting truth that your inner critic is sharing. So if I use myself as an example, this weekend my inner critic was saying, "Oh, you're so unhealthy. Why do you do this to yourself? Why have you had too much wine? Why have you given yourself a headache? Why do you feel so sleepy? Why have you let yourself go? Why are you this bad? Why do you never listen? Why do you never learn?" And I'm sure, that might sound like an exaggeration, but if you ever really listened and tuned in to what your inner critic is saying, it can be really, really damning. And I'm actually a pretty healthy person, so I know that I'm not unhealthy. I know that I wasn't letting go to extremes. I was just having more than I normally do. So opening the door is just seeing things from a different perspective. It's looking back and being reasonable and rational and imagining that you're saying all the loving things that you would say to your best friend or to someone who came to you with this particular problem, and you just remind them, you open the door and you say, remember all those times when you've cut down your fat intake, when you drink that extra glass of water, when you take those really good health supplements, when you walk the dogs, when you go out in the fresh air and take those deep breaths, when you do your exercise, when you have your run, when you do your yoga, and you literally open the door to all that good stuff that you've done, reminding the deeper recesses of your mind, your subconscious, that really you are healthy. You know how to be healthy. You know how to make those healthy choices. And it brings back that sense of balance. And as we continue, you can carry on and do that with your own open door. I'll show you the third technique. And again, it's one we've done before. You can use any one of these techniques or all of them in a flow. You put the heel of your hand to your cheekbones and you put your fingers over your forehead there. And we're touching some really important neurovasculars. The stomach and the liver, and this is the stomach here, liver and our kidneys. And as you're touching those neurovascular trigger points, we are literally sending a beautiful message through the meridian, through the electrical, electromagnetic and subtle energy channels that run through your body. We are triggering your body to move back into a state of rest and digest, triggering your parasympathetic nervous system. Just literally calming yourself down, slowing your breathing, slowing your heart rate, lowering your blood pressure. And in that calmer state, you are literally reconnecting with your inner wisdom. And it feels good. And as you continue that open door technique, you'll remember all the other times when you've been amazing, when you've made the right choices. And you'll start to get a sense of how much balance there truly is in your life, how really you are okay, and how to give yourself the resilience to continue to make those healthy choices, to let go of the inner critic, and to know that the inner critic is literally talking a load of rubbish. And as we do this, you're actually cleansing the barriers that are in your heart space. There are many barriers to bringing in that self-compassion, that self-love. The inner critic is just one of them. And we're just lifting the energy in your heart chakra. And you can actually also help to clear the heart chakra. Let's do that fourth one now. Any chakra can be cleared by doing an anti-clockwise circle over the space of the chakra. So this is my heart chakra, that's my sternum. And if I create that lovely circular motion anti-clockwise, so going from my left to my right hand side. Some people get anti-clockwise, some people it's easy to say left and right. So starting in the left, going up to my face, There we go, a nice big circle. You can even create a spiral anti-clockwise, so starting small. It's almost like you're creating a vortex of energy, a giant screw, screwing out the negative, taking away the inner critic, and just pulling it out of your body. And sometimes you can start to feel a sort of heaviness in your hand. If you do, that's actually, you know, all of the negative, the dark, the denser energy, the lower vibration. Just shake that off. And it's quite good to do this for a few minutes. And you can either do this silently, listening to the music, or you can carry on with your open door technique, reminding yourself of the balance that you really do have, reminding yourself that we all have good and bad, and it's wonderful to be whole, to accept the dark side, the shadow side. Much better to be whole than it is to be good, I always say. And for the sake of this video, after you've done the anti-clockwise, you then seal it back in. So when you start to feel relaxed and like you've cleared that blockage, the energy is flowing. I like to expand my chest to really feel it opening up. You then circle the other way, clockwise. So starting from my right and going over to the left. And you're literally just sealing in that expansive energy of self-compassion, of self-love, knowing you've wiped away the inner critic. So hands over our heart. We've done 4 exercises there that help you to clear the voice of the inner critic. Any one of them is powerful. Tune into yourself and figure out which one works best for you. So when you feel you've let go of that inner critic, just gently bring your hands to a rest over your heart, feeling the expansiveness, feeling almost like normality has come back to you. You've expanded your aura, you've expanded your energy, you've taken away the inner critic. So I hope you enjoyed the energy protocol there and also the open door technique. Try those anytime you feel the inner critic is taking hold of you, and tune in with yourself. Do it before, during and afterwards. How much has your inner critic lifted? And I'm going to carry on this week, so tune in, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of these, because if the inner critic is your particular nemesis, if that's the one who's always out to get you, your inner critic, then I have some wonderful recipes for using the high vibration of rose this week. We're looking at essential oils, and we're also going to do some more energy psychology with a wonderful tapping sequence to let go of your inner critic. Thank you so much for your time and for joining me, and please do share this with other people who will benefit. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.